Welcome to the Brand Theory Podcast, the podcast for helping you uncover your passion, realize your purpose, and take the aligned action. Together, we're going to prove the theory that when we live our lives on brand, the possibilities become limitless. I'm your host, Danielle Marquesi, branding expert and business coach. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Brand Theory Podcast, where we bring you conversations of high value and inspiration to help you grow your brand and your business from a place of true alignment and authenticity, helping you reach your goals sooner rather than later. Today, I'm going to skip right over my own brand tip because today's episode is jam-packed with its own tips and tricks. Stephanie Obi is an award-winning business coach and founder of TrainQuarters, the first female-owned tech platform which provides tech support to thought leaders so they can overcome their fears around turning their expertise into profitable online courses. She's the creator of the Course Launch Delivered method, which helps female thought leaders to earn $100K and beyond from creating and selling premium price online courses. She has helped some of Forbes Africa's most powerful women and LinkedIn top voices to launch their courses and is the author of the Amazon best-selling book, Knowledge is the New Gold. She is the recipient of the Beta Gamma Sigma 2021 Entrepreneurial Achievement Award and Social Media for Social Good Award and was named one of 100 Most Inspiring Women in Nigeria in 2017 by Leading Ladies of Africa. An introduction that means no more words. Let's get into this episode. Welcome to the show, Stephanie.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here. I was telling her before we started, I did a massive stalkering of her, and I'm very excited to dive into this conversation. So before we get started, I'd love to, in your own words, I know we just heard about you in your intro, just tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got to where you are.
Oh, okay. So my name is Stephanie Obi. I help female authors, speakers, coaches, consultants, and experts to launch six-figure online courses. Now, I didn't start off doing this, obviously. So I had a 9-to-5 job. I had just finished my MBA program. I was just trying to climb up the career ladder. I was happy with myself. And then I started to experience some form of restlessness. I couldn't explain it at the time. I was just feeling very unfulfilled. So I wasn't happy, basically. And so I said, okay, let me explore what's making me unhappy. Let me start looking for what I really want to do with my life. And that led me to start organizing workshops. Now, at the time, I used to have this side business. It was my hobby that turned into a business. I used to make accessories. I made accessories as a hobby for like 10 years. And when I would make accessories, people would ask me to sell it to them. And that's how I started this business by the side, just for fun. It was a passion project, but nothing serious. I wasn't about to turn my hobby into a business. It was just something I was doing by the side.
Yeah.
But the more I kept on doing this accessories business, I then had this urge to say, okay, let me just start organizing workshops to teach people how to make these accessories and actually build a business out of it. So I did a workshop. The first time I did a workshop and I put myself out there, I'll be honest with you, nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. It was super embarrassing, super, because I'm a high flyer. I was used to succeeding in everything that I did. And then I decided to now teach, and then nobody showed up. Anyway, after crying my eyes out and picking myself back up again, I launched the next workshop, and this time people actually showed up. People showed up, they paid for the course, they learned, and there was a fire that sparked inside of me when I started training. I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I was so excited about it.
Yeah.
And that's what made me realize that I wanted to be a teacher. So that's how my journey started. I went ahead and quit my 9-to-5. I was like, I'm going into the world of online courses. I'm very optimistic.
I love it. I love your energy.
Yeah. So that's really how I started and how I found my way here.
Okay. So then how many courses to date do you have out there right now?
Great question. When I quit my job and started launching online courses, I launched multiple online courses. Like I no longer had a 9 to 5. So I was just in my house recording online courses, online course after online course. I was on a roll. I was like, I'm gonna launch online courses, but you know what happened? I was struggling because my online courses were not selling. And it was very frustrating because I was like, I know that this thing works. I have launched a successful online course before and it worked. Why can't I replicate my success? Why am I not able to continue launching successful online courses? Why am I going through this kind of frustration? Because by this time I was, how do I explain this? I had quit my job. I had some savings by the side. My savings were running down.
Or dwindling.
And here I was trying to figure out this online course thing, But that journey turned out to be a blessing because eventually I figured it out. And that's why I'm now in a position to help other course creators or other thought leaders to create profitable online courses. I have retired most of those courses. I'm not selling them anymore. I now just focus on helping people create online courses. So I now just have one that I'm focusing on. Yeah.
Okay.
But back in the day, I was a course creator. And I didn't just make courses for myself or creating for other people. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I just focus on helping other people create courses.
Okay. And do you offer that in both a course form and like a coaching form if somebody wanted to work with you?
Yes. So we have the course version and we have the group coaching version.
And that's called Launch Delivered
Course
Method?
Launch Delivered. Yes.
Love it. Course Launch Delivered. I forgot one word. Yes, I love that. I love that name. I think it's genius. I could tell just by like your energy and working with you that you get your clients results. I could just tell.
Yes.
And you've been through the ringer of testing. It sounds like thousands of courses by now. So you know what works and you know what doesn't.
Yes.
So let's get into, I guess, if somebody is listening to this and has tried a course and it didn't work out or is thinking about starting a course, what's kind of the beginning steps of the process of trying to find the idea? Do they have to test it? Do they have to know every single thing about it? Just talk us through just the beginning phases a little bit right now, and then we'll get into the middle and end.
Okay, that's a great question. Now, when you're about to launch a course, there's a lot of imposter syndrome that shows up. Many times you will start, stop, because there's all forms of doubt. Can you really do this? And then the internet doesn't help any matter. Like if you're just on Instagram scrolling through, you're going to see 10 other people who are already teaching what you want to teach, and they're bigger than you. They have students who say, "Oh my God, you are the best,"
It's so true.
So that doesn't help any matter when you're going to launch a course. So even though you know what you want to teach and you're passionate about it and you want to impact other people, one of the emotions you have to struggle with is self-doubt. Am I good enough? Does anybody really want to pay for my course? Why would anybody want to pay for my course when there's this person already? So the first place to start from is to look within and focus on your competitive advantage. That is, what is it that you have that no other person has? That's the first place, because there will always be strategies that have been tested. Everybody that's teaching your topic has strategies. There will always be, content. Look, even after you, many more people are still coming to join you teaching that same topic. Okay, so you can't really worry about being the only person. If you're the only person, is a red flag because it means there's no demand for what you're teaching. So when you're starting, just if you can, look within, sit down and say, who am I? What do I have? What is my experience? What are my stories? What are my strengths? What comes to me easily? Now, all those things, your own unique set of skills, strengths, abilities, your story, that's what makes you special. That's what makes your course special. So if you just come from that place, that this is my story, this is where I'm from, this is what happened to me, this is how I overcame this challenge, and I want to show you my own way.
Yeah.
If you just do that, without trying to be better than anybody or trying to be, compare yourself, just focus on, this is who I am, this is what I've done, and I want to show you how I did it. That's
Yeah.
always the first place to start. Because when you get into that space, you're no longer trying to be the best, you're just trying to be different. And how can you be different by focusing on yourself, focusing on who you are? So that's really how to start. Whatever your topic is, if you can find how you've done something differently, is a superpower. If you can find how your unique abilities has helped to achieve a particular goal, is a superpower. The more you lean into that, you'll be able to attract people who connect with those things. You understand?
Yeah.
Because the way the world is, we all connect people at different points. So somebody can come to you and say, I like her story. I really connect with it. Oh, I like the way she does this. I want you to learn how exactly she does this. Those are the things that will make your course sell. It will attract your own tribe, so you don't have to worry about whether there are people who have thousands of people who have already paid for that person's online course. Your own thousands are waiting for you, because there are some people who cannot learn from any other person. They can only learn from you. Mm-hmm. So when you show up in your own uniqueness, in your own with your own
brand,
strength,
it's your brand, your personal brand.
Exactly. I just didn't want to use the
keyword,
the industry word.
the industry word.
That's what a brand is. So when you show up with your own brand, you attract your own people. So that's always the first step, starting with your brand. Yeah.
I love it. And the whole time you were talking about that, I was saying in my head, that's your personal brand. There are so many people who do online courses, and there's so many people who would probably teach the same topic that you would, but you are what's different about it. Your approach, your energy, your personality, that one thing that's different than the other person, that is the relatable factor that's going to bring students to your course over the other. And it's not like a competition thing. It's just the fact, the simple human fact that we relate differently to different people. So we need more people to create courses that we on some personal level relate to. So I love that you were saying that, and it kind of just ties everything that we talk about on this podcast of always choosing to be yourself in your business and not just doing it because it's trendy or doing it because it's working for somebody else, and really finding that individual superpower that you have, and that God-given gifts, if you will, and using it to the best of your ability. I love it. So now I'd love to talk to you about, you have the topic, what you're going to teach on, you're using your superpower, you are going to create a course about it. What comes next? How many modules do we need? How many is too many? How many is not enough? Where do we build it? What is the meat? What's the middle part of launching a course?
All right, fantastic. So when you've decided the topic you want to create your course on, the next thing is to test your ideas. Test it before you go out there and start recording videos and start, set up an online school, doing all that technical work. Is always easier to test your ideas. And I learned this the hard way. All that time that when I was at home, I had picked my 9-to-5 job, and so I could sit at home and just create videos. I was creating courses upon courses, and I was creating things that nobody needed. Another experience I had is I created a course. I knew people needed a course, but the way I titled it was wrong. By the time I changed the title and we launched the course again, it sold. So many times when you're creating an online course, there's so many variables. So before you go out there and just create the video, do all the graphics and all, test your ideas. I always advise my clients to sell their courses before they create the course content. The first time you're creating a course, sell it, pre-sell it, and be truthful. Tell people, I'm pre-selling this course. This is my first time I'm running it. If you buy it at this time, you get some bonuses, you get some discount, because it's the first time I'm putting myself out there. But do it, because cash is the only true test. It's like if you want to get married to a guy, He'll tell you, oh, I love you. I love you. Oh, come and meet my parents. Oh, all their friends will say, oh, you are our wife. They'll just keep teasing, hailing you. He will buy you a gift. He will buy you this. He will buy you that. You feel as if you are on top of the world until you're married. You are not married. Even if you are engaged, even if you've gotten a wedding dress, no matter what, until you say, I do, you're not married. It's the same thing with an online course. Until people give you cash, until they pay you, there's no other way to know if your course will sell. So approach it like an experiment. I have this idea. I want to help people to achieve this goal. I want to create a course that teaches this, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to pre-sell and let me see. Now, when you pre-sell your course, two things will happen. People will validate your assumptions to say, yes, they want the course, and they will even pay you before the course is ready. If that happens, congratulations, you have hit a great idea. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean anything. Many times we personalize it to say, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Nobody wants me. It has nothing to do with you. It's just that there's something that's not in alignment. Just start experimenting, tweak it, do some research, talk to more people. Oh, do you really want this? Do you really have this challenge? How can we, how are you, what are you looking for in a solution? And it takes a lot of humility, because your ego your ego can mess you up. Your ego can tell you, look, these people, these people, they don't value you. They don't discuss. Go and focus on something else. But you have to be able to separate yourself from the event, because it's an event. It doesn't mean anything about you. Separate yourself from it. Go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what can I tweak? What can I tweak? And this is usually a very difficult part, because many times our emotions control can just, can destabilize us. You're trying to launch a course and you have experienced failure at first. It's very destabilizing. You can say, you know what, I'm done with this online course. I'm not getting online course again. Meanwhile, you actually have a great idea. It's still there, but just needs refining. So you can go back to the drawing board and create something else. Many times when my clients launch pre-sell their first course, it doesn't work out. The second thing they create is always better. It's always better. But remind yourself that this thing is working. All things are working together for my good. Remind yourself and just keep going through the process. Now, you asked me another question about, okay, how many modules should it be? How long should it be? And all of that. What I always say is that your course should be focused on helping people to get a result. There should be a point A and a point B. Now, whatever you need to teach for them to be able to get to point B, you teach it. I don't believe in a certain amount of modules or lessons. What is more important is that when somebody comes to your course and they are at point A, by the time they are done with your course, it should be in point B. So this now, sometimes you can have so many lessons. Sometimes you can have fewer lessons because you don't need to teach so much. But what the major thing to always have in mind is that I want to help this client who is here at point A to get to point B. If you just focus on that, it will help you to have an amazing course. Okay? If you focus on what is the best way I can help somebody to go from point A to point B, it will also guide you on how to structure the course. How do I make them actually get to the end? Because if they don't get to the end, they won't have this result. So what can I do in the design of my course to help them to get to the end? When you start thinking that way, it's from a place of service. I really want to help people. I want them to get to the destination that they want to get to. This thought or this mission that you have now begins to inspire creativity in you. So I say, okay, maybe I should drip my course content. Maybe I should, do it this way or do it that way. However you're thinking about it, as far as you are trying to help people to get results, you'll be fine.
I love it. And that actually brings me to my next question about kind of the technicalities, if you will, of what are some platforms you have seen work best for hosting courses? I've been in a Teachable, I've been in Kajabi, I've actually hosted a course on Google Classroom, which worked out great, which I loved being a little bit more simple with it. So have you seen something that works a little bit better? And then following that, in terms of length of each lesson, is there kind of a sweet spot we should be in of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, or does it really depend on the content and the audience?
Okay. So with regards to tech, I have quite an interesting belief. Now, bearing in mind that I also have a tech platform, my belief around tech platforms is that there's no best one. How do I explain it? It doesn't matter. You just pick what works for you. For some people, they would like a Teachable because of certain things. For some people, they would like a Kajabi. For some people, they would like my own platform, and it's TrainQuarters. It doesn't matter. It's the tech, the platform itself doesn't really matter. And many times, this trips up a lot of people. They're like, oh, the tech is terrifying. That tech is just a tool to deliver your course. It's just a tool. So, like, don't spend too much time thinking about it. Just pick one and move.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I'm with you. Let's do it.
Just pick one and move. Okay. And you also find that these platforms, they also have different price points. So depending on where you are and what you can afford, just pick one. Don't allow the tech to hold you back for too long. And if you're somebody who is not very techy and the tech freezes you up, outsource it. Just outsource. Because the real thing you're doing is in the content of your lesson. Is the real transformation. Even if you put your content on any platform, your clients will still get results. So let that not be the thing that becomes what's major.
Yeah.
Okay. So just pick one and keep it moving. That's my view around that.
Yeah. I love it.
Now, you're welcome. Now, with regards to the length, it will really depend on who you're creating your course for. So if you're creating a course for a mother who has children, who's busy, just think about what her life looks like. She's busy. Yep. And so she doesn't really have time to spend 1 hour watching one lesson. Because if she's watching the lesson, her child can start crying. She'll run and go and pick up the child, and that's the end. So when you think about the person you're creating the course for, you can say, how can I make it easy for her to watch this lesson and implement the lesson? Maybe I can make it shorter so that she can quickly watch the lesson, get to the point, and she's able to implement. So that's how I think about it. I don't like to give people, direct answers, because a lot of times it's really dependent on who you're creating the course for. Now, you can be creating courses for people who want to see depth. They're intellectuals. They want to see that you referenced a particular thing. They want to see examples. They want to see stories, case studies. They want to see analogies. Where has this been tested before? They want to see examples, because that's how their brain works. Now, if that's the case, you can make your lessons longer so that you can address all those things that they need to see for them to really believe you. So the length of your lessons is largely dependent on who you are creating for.
Okay.
So study people you are attracting, study them, understand what makes them tick, understand their lifestyles, understand how would they be consuming this course? What are they doing? What are they looking for? Now, based on that, you can then design your lessons to suit them.
Yeah. And I guess when it comes to pricing, it would kind of be a similar answer of understanding the technical that you're using, the platforms that you're using, but also really understanding the students and who's going to be buying this and their price range and their comfortability. Would you agree, or do you have something different?
Oh, I have something different.
Okay, love it. Let's do it.
Something different. So, and this is what I always advise my clients. There are many ways to price a course. You can price a course based on what I think this person may be able to afford. But what I recommend is that you price your course based on the value. Based on the value. So if this client gets the course, what will they be able to do with it?
Yeah.
Some clients can get a course. After they watch that course, they're able to bring in an additional 6 figures. because they watch this course. So if you have a course that can help somebody to get additional 6 figures, for example, the value of that course is so much higher. So
that's so true.
Another person watches a course, takes a course, and they are able to maybe earn an additional $1,000, for instance, the value of that course is less.
Yeah.
So when you're positioning your course, you're always positioned from a place of value. What value would this add to this person's life? And based on that value, you price your course. The people who understand the value would pay for the course because they understand the value. Our work as course creators, when we're marketing the course, will now be to communicate the value.
Yeah.
When you take this course, XYZ would happen to you. So whoever wants to achieve this great result, they will come and pay for your course at whatever price you set, because they see the value. At the end of the day, knowledge is everywhere. If you go on YouTube, it's there. If they scroll on Instagram, it's there. If they pay for a different course from a different person, it's there. So what really makes yours stand out is that you have your position to say, your position is, you're saying this course will help you achieve a particular goal.
Yeah.
The people who want to achieve that goal, they will be willing and able to invest in themselves to achieve that goal.
Amen, sister. I love it. So when it comes to marketing our courses, I mean, we talked a lot about pre-selling it. So you're starting to market before you even build a course, but what's kind of, I know marketing is a huge question. We could do a whole episode on just marketing a course, but what are some of your best kind of tips and tricks when it comes to specifically marketing a course?
Oh, that's such a great question. Okay, let's go. So when you're marketing your course, there are many different ways you can market a course. And I would say when you market a course, you pick strategies based on your goals, based on your own goals. Okay, I'll give you an example. When I started marketing my online courses, I used to look at the big course creators, and I would see that they will only launch their courses once a year. Max, I would see sometimes twice a year, but really, it was just once a year. Now, this made me believe that the only time I can market my course is once a year or twice a year. What I did not realize is that those big course creators, they had email list of over 100,000 people on their email list. And so if they launched once, they could have a 7-figure launch.
Yep.
Because they had a huge audience already, and all year round, they had a team of people who were creating content for them, who were helping them to just build leads. And then once a year, they have this huge, massive launch and a team of affiliates too, and they're able to sell. So because I did not understand that major difference, I don't have an email list of 100,000 people. And so my strategy cannot be the same strategy with them. I have to pick a strategy that would work for me based on what I have. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things. So when you set a goal, for instance, to say, I want to launch a course that earns $100,000, the first thing is to say, what strategy can get me there? Given that I have maybe 1,000 people on my email list, given that I only have 1,000 followers, given that I only, so you design a strategy that would work for you, not a different person.
Yeah.
Not a different person. So this is one of my biggest lessons. Now, when you begin to do this, you start seeing that there are other opportunities, there are other ways to promote your course. For example, you can do launches, micro launches, where you are launching every 2 months. Every 2 months you're launching. And you can get to 6 figures by doing that. Every 2 months you launch your course. You can also have an evergreen funnel that sells your course all year round, day in, day out. It's just always selling. Because as you're getting in front of new people, you're always giving them an opportunity to sign up for your course. And some of them will sign up, some of them will sign up later. It doesn't matter. Your course is available for sale all the time. You can also do partnerships. You can have joint collaborations with people. You do webinars with them. At the end, you sell your course, and then you guys split have a revenue split. That also works,
Yeah.
But you always have to start by saying, what do I want to achieve? And given where I am, what's the best way for me to achieve this goal? Also, given how much time I have, if you from my story, I went through a phase where I was grieving. I lost my dad, and it affected my energy. I wasn't happy. So I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. I'm full of positive. I'm so positive. Yes, we can do it. I didn't have any of those my positive energy vibe. I was just like, oh God, why? So I had to go and take care of myself. I took time off work to heal. Now, during this time where I could not be out there posting, sharing content, I had to now create an evergreen system, evergreen way of selling my course, automated. And I was reusing some of my past assets, my past videos, some of my past articles, some of my past resources that had helped me to sell in the past. I set them up in a way that they were front burner, and they were helping to promote my course while I took time out for myself. Now, the reason I was able to do this is because I already had many of all these assets that had been proven, and like I knew that this thing will work. I knew that if I put out this video, this is the reaction it always gets. If I put out this post, this is what will happen. So I had all those proven assets in my business, and I could then reuse them. So when you're thinking about marketing strategies, there are a number of them. That's the first thing. Number two, if I was going to emphasize something, is that we are always creating a digital footprint. So when you create a video, when you go on a podcast, for instance, when you create a book, a guide, or anything you're creating, you're leaving a digital footprint. So just keep doing them, because they'll always come in handy at different times.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for that. I have one more question before you wrap up, and something that has nothing to do with course creation, but something I ask all of my guests, because I think it's just so valuable to hear these answers as, we grow our businesses. There's always things that come up and challenges and all of that. So here we define the term on brand as kind of what I was saying before, choosing your own path, choosing to live your best authentic self in this crazy up and down world of entrepreneurship. So can you think of a time where, whether in business or in life, you weren't living your definition of on brand, and how did you realize that, and how did you navigate back to your on brand path?
Yes. Which one should I share? I have to.
That's usually the reaction. Hold on, I got to cycle through them all.
All right. So I would say there's a time I got disappointed. I was doing a number of things back to back, and I was experiencing a lot of failure. And sometimes when you fail, or when you get disappointed, you try again and then it works. In my own case, I was trying again and I was failing. I was trying again and I was failing. So during this time, the pain, the anger, the disappointment, it entered into my soul, and it affected the way I was showing up. My energy shifted. If you listen to me for a while, you can see that I'm very positive. I'm very, but I wasn't positive at this time. I just felt like, I was angry. I was angry at everybody. I was, holding grudges. I was pointing fingers. During that point, I was no longer on brand, because my brand is very joyful, very positive. I'm very encouraging. I'm like, let's go. But because I had so much anger, bitterness, frustration, unbelief in my heart, I could no longer give joy, because you can't give what you don't have. It's within you. So I wasn't on brand anymore, basically. I would even share some post online. People would send me a message and say, Stephanie, are you okay? That's to tell you how much they could tell that I was off. Like, I did not even know I was that off. I thought I was
Yeah.
I go, these guys, but it was showing. It was showing in the way I showed up. It was showing in the content I created. It was showing in everything. It was so loud, So what I did is that I had to take some time off once again to heal. I had to take some time off to heal and to remind myself of who I am. Remind myself of whose I am. Remind myself of my assignment and detach myself from whatever was happening. Like, because I was at the time, I was tied to my achievements. I'm achieving all these things, and that's what makes me who I am. I had to get to a point where I told myself, it's who I am that makes me achieve all these things. So the achievements don't make me. So if I'm not achieving a particular goal, it doesn't change who I am. So that detachment had to happen for me to get back on track.
That is such a powerful story. And I think I can relate to that very much, of just trying and trying and trying anything. But especially when it comes to business and failing and being angry about it and feeling like not good enough and just having to just completely step away. And I got the same messages. You okay, man? Like, what's going on with you? why are you acting like that? Like, so but it's also grateful to have those people who are kind of looking out for you, even if you've never met them and they're all the way across the globe somewhere else. And which is another beautiful part of this entrepreneurial journey. But thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm glad that you took that time to heal, and I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're sharing your mission and your knowledge with the world. And just thank you. I feel like this episode is probably one of the most valuable episodes we've had on the show, of course creation and just everything about your story that you've shared. So again, thank you so much for coming on. Tell us where we can find more of you. I know you have a book out, so tell us about that, where we can find that, and just where we can come hang out and say hi.
Okay. So I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I like Instagram. my handle is Steph Obi. Also, you can also get, I don't know which book you're talking about. I have 2 books.
Oh, I actually didn't realize you had 2 books. I was talking about Knowledge is the New Gold, that book. Just downloaded that one.
The new book. Okay, yes. So that one is on Amazon. Knowledge is the New Gold. Now, there's another one that I'm sharing now, but it's for free. It's on my website, www.stephanieobi.com. That one is about being a 6-figure course creator. Yeah, you can get that at www.stephanieobi.com. Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thanks again so much for coming on, and I'll drop all of that in the show notes for you to easily find her and easily find those books. But thank you so much, and we will chat with you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.